We're back here today filming the second video of our high school series. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff coming up today.
So we are going to be talking about self-esteem like we mentioned in our last video.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of get right into it.
Okay, first we're going to talk about identity and stereotyping.
Okay, so we've realized that a lot of judgment and stereotyping can happen at high school, and it's kind of a time where everyone is looking at each other and kind of classifying everyone into different categories. So I think that that's probably the biggest time in your life that you can be stereotyped and where you kind of find your identity.
I feel like that's kind of unfair because it shapes who you are in that point of your life, but you don't really know who you are. So for someone to say you're this, then you're like, oh, okay, like I'm this. That means that I have to behave this way and all that jazz, and that just isn't fair because you don't really know who you are.
Yeah, and I think you really become what people think of you. So if people think that you're this scholar and you're really smart, then you're going to push yourself and you're going to want to do better on your tests and stuff like that if people are always looking at you like that. Or like if people think that you're really good at sports, then you'll like push yourself to get involved in sports and do that. Or if like people think that you're a loner and you don't mean anything, then that's what you're going to think about yourself.
Yeah. And next we're going to talk about where you find your self-worth.
A negative way that you can find your self-worth is to look at what people think of you, and then from that you're gonna kind of determine what your self-worth is. So if people think really highly of you, then maybe you'll think that you're a really great person. Or if people don't really know you, or you're not very popular and stuff, and you don't have very many friends, then you might have a really low self-worth and you might not think you're very important.
Yeah, but it's important, like especially in high school and that area of your life, to find your worth in God and who He says you are and who you are to Him, because God doesn't really look at like, you know, your stereotype or the way you look or the way you dress. He more so looks at your heart and who you are on the inside.
So we have a scripture that kind of I think in my mind sums up what God has to say about your worth, and it's found in Luke 12 verse 6 to 7, and it says, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies, and not one of them is forgotten before God? Why, even the hairs on your head are all numbered. Fear not, you are more valuable than many sparrows." So basically, like, you're so important to God, and He values you, and that's where you should find your self-worth in God, and know that He values you so much, and you should think of yourself as a valued child of God. So now we are going to get into some tips of ways that we've thought of to kind of help you to have a good self-esteem.
The first tip is try not to let words from other people define you, even if they're, like, no matter what they are, like if they're bad or if they're good. Because if you are like hearing, oh, like you're really ugly, then obviously that's not a good thing, and that's not how God sees you, so that's not really important. If people start saying, oh, like you're really pretty and you're beautiful and all that, like it's good, it's nice and everything, and you should still accept the compliment, obviously, but like it's not a good idea to take that for value for yourself and think, oh, okay, like I must be pretty because people say I'm pretty, so like if they didn't say I was pretty, I wouldn't be pretty. And like you just get caught up in that, like what we said earlier with finding your self-worth in other people's definitions of who you are.
Our second tip is to find biblical evidence of who God says you are. So we already told you a scripture that we found, but look for yourself in the Bible and just like ask God, what do you say I am? Like, what words can I take from your word to kind of claim as a truth in my life?
Number 3 is don't compare yourself, because everyone does have flaws and everyone has something that maybe they don't like about themselves, and you might not see that because maybe they just don't think about that and they're confident because they know who they are. So definitely don't compare yourself to anyone else, because at the same time you could be comparing physical like aspects or like personality wise, but that is part of what their past and what their life has made them. So like you haven't been through that kind of thing. You don't know what they've been through. So like just don't compare.
And our last tip is to write yourself positive messages, whether it's like little reminders that you put on your phone that will flash up on like a random time and say like, smile, you're beautiful or something, or like sticky notes on your bathroom mirror or just like on your bedroom wall or whatever. And it's just helpful even if you don't believe it about yourself. Just seeing it every day and reading it will, I think, help you to kind of accept that about you and believe it. So that's it for this video, and we hope you enjoyed it.
See you next time. Next video, we'll be talking about friendship and how to make good friends and peer pressure and how to identify a healthy or unhealthy relationship with friends and lots more. So be sure to come back for that.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.